All right, let's dive into something pretty fascinating today. A little concept called cognitive independence. Trust me, this might just explain a whole lot about the way your own mind works.
You know that feeling, right? You're scrolling online, you see some bizarre new challenge or a gadget that everyone suddenly needs to have, and you just kind of stop and think, why? Like, what is actually happening here? If you've ever felt that, you're in the right place. And this quote, man, it just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling of standing on the sidelines. You're not judging, you're just watching, observing the whole wave of a trend as it rolls by, while you just stay put.
So what's the deal? What really separates the person who jumps in from the person who just observes? Well, it turns out it boils down to two very different paths our brains can take. Let's break them down.
Okay, so on one side, you've got what we call normative social influence. This is the big one. It's driven by that fear of being left out, it's all about chasing popularity, and it's a reaction to social pressure. But then, on the other side, you have its total opposite, cognitive independence. This path is all about logic, about asking, is this actually useful, and making decisions based on your own analysis, not what everyone else is doing.
Now, to really get a handle on cognitive independence, we first have to understand the massive, powerful force it's constantly pushing against. So let's take a closer look at that incredible pressure to just join in.
At its very heart, normative social influence is tapping into our deep, almost primal need to belong. It's that little voice in the back of your mind whispering, hey, everyone else is doing this, we should probably do it too, or we're going to get left behind. It is an incredibly powerful motivator.
And honestly, you can't really blame our brains for this. For thousands and thousands of years, fitting in with the tribe wasn't just nice, it was literally a survival mechanism. So this instinct is kind of like a mental shortcut, a quick and easy way to make sure we're still part of the group, where it's safe.
But what about that other path? You know, the one that's a little less traveled. This is where we get to the core of it all, the logic-first mindset of cognitive independence.
So what is it? Well, you can think of cognitive independence as the amazing ability to just hit the mute button on all that social noise and digital chatter. It's about taking in information and actually processing it for yourself, forming your own opinions based on your own internal rules, not the crowd's.
So, just how rare is this? Well, get this. The source material suggests that only about 2% of people primarily operate from this place of cognitive independence. Just 2%.
And when you see it laid out visually like this, it's, wow, that tiny little sliver, that's the 2% who consistently filter out all the social pressure. The other massive chunk, that's the rest of us, who are, at least to some degree, guided by it. It just goes to show you how incredibly strong that pull to conform really is.
So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, someone who's cognitively independent isn't just trying to be different for the sake of it, not at all. They just have a totally different set of priorities. They're looking for logic, not likes. They're tuning out the digital static to form their own views. They're constantly asking, but is this actually useful? And maybe most importantly, they've built up a real resistance to that fear of being left. Now, here's the cool part. Resisting trends isn't just some personality quirk. There's a huge practical benefit to it. It's kind of like a hidden superpower, and it's all about protecting your single most valuable resource.
And I'm talking about your mental energy. Think about it. Every time you have to debate joining a trend, or worry about what other people are thinking, or just try to keep up with the latest thing, you are spending precious cognitive fuel. By making function your default setting over status, you save that energy for the stuff that actually matters to you.
It works almost like a built-in mental filter. So, step 1, you see a new trend pop up. You observe it, just like everyone else. But then comes the crucial part. Step 2, you analyze it. You ask, okay, does this thing actually do anything? Is it useful for me? And only after that do you get to step 3, making a decision based on your own logic, completely separate from how popular it is. And you can really see the difference in energy drain right here. For someone driven by social influence, engaging with a new trend is a big mental workout. You're worrying about perception, about status, about getting it right. But for the cognitively independent person, the process is super streamlined, very low cost. They analyze, they decide, and they move on. Simple as that. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's bring it all home and turn the focus on you for a second. Let's talk about your cognitive compass. It's worth asking yourself, which way does yours tend to point? And this
This is a really important distinction to make. Cognitive independence is not about being a contrarian. It's not about automatically rejecting anything that's popular. See, a contrarian just reacts against the crowd. A cognitively independent person, they just don't use the crowd as their map in the first place. They've got their own strong internal compass, and that's what guides them.
And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. When you're making choices, big or small, what's guiding you? Is your compass pointing where the crowd is going? Or are you charting your own course, guided by your own internal code? Something to chew on. Thanks for tuning in.